Today we're going to be checking out the Aesahaettr from Lichtlaerm pedals. Now, I really hope I pronounced that all correctly. These are German names, and I don't speak German, so I'm sure there's plenty of people in Germany watching this laughing, but that's fine. So the pedal is called this because it's a type of knife, and it basically makes sense because this thing is meant to add cut to your sound. You know, get it? Knife, cut. So this thing is a modern metal boost, and it's based around the TC integrated preamp. But it's definitely a bit different. You can see it has the two different buttons, and what those do is the main controls the boost, which adds up to 35 decibels of boost, so that's a decent amount of volume. And then there's the cut control also on that switch, and what that will do is it will cut low end. And this will cut a decent amount of low end. You can cut all the way up to about 1500 hertz if you really need it to be that aggressive and you have something that low or an amp that is just that muddy. So the other foot switch controls the active EQ. Now, a normal TC integrated preamp just has a bass control and a treble control. So you have those on this as well, but you also have a high and low mid control to really dial this thing into what you want it to sound like, which I think is pretty cool. Because the high mid is definitely where the pick attack and kind of cut lives in the guitar tone. That kind of clank, you can, if you have too much of that, you can dial it back, or if you need a bit more to be kind of modern and aggressive sounding, you can add just a hair, or of course you can go to extremes with these as well to get different unique sounds. And then the low mid is kind of where, it is some of where the body of the guitar is, kind of the fullness of it in a way, but it's also kind of where that wooden, less modern, less metal sound comes from. So you really need to kind of dial this one in carefully to make sure that you're getting enough fullness without it sounding kind of, you know, to use a term, wooden, and you'll hear what I'm talking about when I mess around with that control in the out of mix. And just like with the other pedals I've demoed from them, you can have either of these on independently, so you can have just the EQ or just the boost with the cut controller, of course both. And I think that makes this thing a lot more usable, adds a lot more usability to various different rigs and sounds that you want to get, and I think that's pretty cool. So that's enough talking about the features. Let's hear this going into the blue channel, my EVH 5153 Stealth 50 watt. I'm going to be using my Solar T-Series 7-string with a Lundgren M7 in the bridge. And we're going to hear that inside of a mix on that amp going into my 2 Notes Captor X, going into, for anyone that cares, an IR blend of my DV77 mixed with a VM1265. And we'll hear that all the same with the same guitar and gear in the out of mix as well. Let's check it out. So I really like it. When you just have it as the clean boost, you can get something really tight and aggressive, slam it to the front of the amp, get that saturation. But then you can refine the sound with that EQ section. Once you bring that in, you can take out a little bit of that woodenness I was talking about in the low mid. You can add a little bit of bite and pick attack with the upper mid. You can add top end clarity with the treble. You can really dial in that low end for how fat or how thin you want everything to sound. All in all, again, I'm really impressed with this. This is the third pedal I've been able to check out from these guys. And again, it's just another fantastic pedal with a bunch of good ideas, a fresh take on a TC style pedal I haven't seen before, which is also pretty cool. So I'm gonna have a link down below for this pedal as well as anything else they offer. I recommend checking them out. So far, like I said, they've been great. And thanks for watching, guys. Stay metal.